Yeah, we're back. Oh, what's up? Hold on.
Oh.
Gotta get it over this monster. Here we go. All right. Before we get started with the rest of our show, our bonus content, I thought that we'd do a little taste test.
Oh, fun.
Look at what Adam got at Grocery Outlet.
Oh my gosh. Have you tried it yet?
No, I saw it and I was like, yes, we need to discover it. So as I pour this, why don't you read the description on the side so everyone can know what exactly this is?
Okay, this is Paddy the Baddy. What's happening, fam? This is the Bad Man, UFC's Paddy the Baddy Pimlet, and I'm excited for you to try my exclusive flavor of ABE energy drink. Baddy Berry is the flavor.
Baddy Berry.
I love that,
Wow.
actually. I have an ABE. Am I saying that right? ABE can be for every workout.
I mean, maybe it's Abe.
Abe. No, I think that's all black everything.
What?
Is what it stands for.
I'm so confused. Are you catering to black people? What up,
Maybe
fam? It's your dog, Paddy the Baddy, bro.
No, he doesn't like this. He doesn't like that. Sorry, girl. You missed the mark. I have an ABE can before every workout and have helped develop this Baddy Berry performance drink with a boss flavor blend of strawberries, raspberries. I just know you're going to love it.
Oh, great. I'm getting my whiskey ready as a chaser. All right, let's see how it goes. Careful, because it is an energy drink, so I don't want you to blow your top off. Hints of berry and badness.
Interesting. Very sultry.
Notes of syrup.
Robitussin. A little tussiny.
Very syrupy.
It's thick.
It tastes like when you make the Kool-Aid the right way with way more sugar than it says to put on it.
It tastes like I'm going to be up all night.
Yeah.
Butcher, do you want to try this? You're not allowed.
No, please.
He's going to be out barking at the neighbors all night.
Don't let your kids drink that. That is ridiculous. Is 110% sugar.
Yes, it is. No, Butcher, I said no.
This is part of Paddy's after the secret juice stuff that he does, you know. he has his secret juice, and then afterwards when he's in fat camp, he's drinking this stuff to give him energy to eat more.
Gotta keep that glucose up.
Oh man. So I'm guessing you're not drinking that.
No.
Here's a chaser. What we need is a Liquid Death sponsor. Okay, so we weren't paid to drink that. I just thought it'd be funny. But this stuff, I am chugging them all day.
This one is actually delicious.
Yeah.
It has like a little melon flavor. What kind of melon is that?
Mango. It's mango chainsaw.
It's mango-rific.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, Liquid Death, call us.
Holla at your girls. And it tastes great in whiskey. Here, I'm going to put this down here so it doesn't mess up my electronics.
I'm going to put it down so I don't spill anything more because I've been on a roll all night.
Right? So we were talking about retirements, and the greatest fighter of all time in my eyes also retired.
Dana White would absolutely disagree with you on that.
The GOAT is the pound for pound number one. If DJ was John Jones' size, he would kick John Jones' ass.
He begs to differ. What?
I filled it up too much. I didn't want to accidentally whoa.
Like, why is she so quiet? And then I looked like, oh my God. It's like how my horses drink.
Oh man.
They make like a little straw for themselves.
Yeah, I love that.
It's adorable.
I used to try to drink like a cat. Like, you know how they get the tongue out?
Yep.
Like scoop it up
Yeah.
like a little spoon. Mm-hmm. I used to try to do that, like lap up my drinks.
I'd like to see that.
It's like,
Do it. Oh my! She still got it.
a little harder with bubbles.
She still got it, and the ice cubes, cubes.
There's a lot of obstacles in there.
You can try it with this.
I'm done. I'm
Try
done.
it.
I'm done with that
Do
shit.
it.
No. Ugh.
Oh, come on,
Really?
come on, yes, really. Put your tongue in it like you mean it. There you go. That
That's
was
horrible.
So not that. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want it. Like, give me a bowl of milk and I got you. Wasn't feeling
Have you
it.
jumping around on nimbly bimbly after that one?
Yeah, I'm not gonna sleep at all.
It's okay. You have a house to unpack.
Oh man,
Put that energy to use.
No, it's funny. That's funny you said that. Yeah, Dana White has been on one with the Jon Jones debate, and I actually learned something that I didn't really take into consideration with the pound for pound debate.
Tell me.
That when you're talking about greatest of all time, that's different than pound for pound number one.
Fair.
So pound for pound number one to, I guess, journalists, whatever that means, is who is the current best out of their most recent portfolio.
Okay.
So Jon Jones can be pound for pound number one in 2020, but because he's only fought like once since then he is underneath all the guys that have been more active, that have been winning, that have bigger streaks within that time period.
Okay.
So that is the case that the journalists are making, as opposed to the case of Jon Jones, or that Dana White is making for Jon Jones, saying that he beat better people. He has a better streak. He's the best in the world. You can argue that he's undefeated, and he just beat Cyril Gane, who at the time was the number one heavyweight in the UFC. So Dana, I feel like Dana has a case, but if you're looking at pound for pound in that way, like, oh, this is more of a recently, what have you done for me kind of ranking system, then yeah, maybe a couple people beat him. Because he's basically up there for one fight, on top of the fact that he's undefeated.
Okay.
Yeah, so like in that sense, you can even make a case for I don't know, GSP being pound for pound number one, but it's like, yeah, I don't know who's fought once and hasn't fought in a long time. I can't think of anyone else, but that's where the discrepancy is. This is why the journalists are fighting so hard to make their point heard, because they feel like Dana is going against the rules of figuring out pound for pound versus greatest of all time.
Got it.
The journalists are like being Demopolis. They're like, that's not
Nobody
the
likes a
rules.
Demopolis.
That's not the rules. You're not playing fair.
He makes his own rules.
You can't talk about the stuff that happened 10 years ago. You got to talk about what happened just now. So, yeah, I get it.
Okay.
But I'm not mad at it. I just feel like Demetrius Johnson definitely deserves his flowers, and he's never really gotten them from the UFC. Instead, he got traded.
Yeah. Well, Dana White just said that he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's
the UFC
good.
Hall of Fame.
Yay.
He deserves it.
Yes.
He absolutely deserves it. That man was a trailblazer.
He was. He raised the level. So one thing, that people don't realize is that when you inspire people, it takes a while to see the results of that. It's kind of like CTE.
Oh my God.
It's going to take at least...
Fair point.
Yeah, no, it's going to take at least 10 years for you to really see the development of what you did. And when Mighty Mouse came in there and he had his crazy streak on and he was just destroying all these flyweights, there were flyweights with a few amateur fights with maybe their first pro win who realized the level that they had to be to beat someone like Demetrius Johnson. And he inspired, I'm so sure he inspired this whole new wave of insane flyweights that we have right now. So Yeah, hats off to him.
Well, he deserves it. He deserves to be inducted into all of the Hall of Fames.
All of them. And then we also had a retirement in ONE FC where he announced his Liam Harrison. He retired, and he's like this shit hot Muay Thai fighter. Just really just leaves it all on leaves it goes out on a shield. Is what I'm trying to say. Goes out on the show. David Feldman would love him if he was in bare knuckle. He always just puts everything into his fights. He throws with reckless abandonment. He gets dropped half of the fights that he wins, and he'll just like get dropped, stand up, knock the person out, and then you don't get back up. This time, he was the one that got knocked out the last time, didn't get back up, and he kind of just left his gloves in the ring and walked out just like Schnell did.
Yeah, it's always kind of sad to see somebody, well, any fighter. I feel like any fighter who lays their gloves down, after a fight, I feel like they deserve just a little bit of a spotlight. Yeah. A little bit of an opportunity just to speak their piece, speak their mind, say what's on their heart, because they've given so much to the sport, and I feel like it's just an opportunity for us to be able to thank them for what they've done. So it would have been, I don't know, it would have been nice, I think, if that would have happened in both cases across the board.
Yeah, it almost makes me want them to have a Jose Aldo moment where they're like, you know what? I'm gonna do one more.
I'm not done. But that's the beautiful thing, people can change their mind.
Yes,
and. Like you were saying with bare knuckle fighting or BKFC, a lot of people that retire end up going to BKFC because, they're just retiring from that sport. So he may, make a resurgence, make a comeback. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't think that guy needs any more brain damage. Neither of them.
Maybe just a little vacation.
Oh, man.
Well, that elbow that he was knocked out by actually was on display in the UFC.
Oh, that was Haggerty.
Oh, sorry, Haggerty.
Yeah, he didn't retire. Okay. But that was a nasty elbow. Yeah, I was happy that...
he gave him a shout out.
Yeah, that was really cool. So Superlek, crazy great Thai fighter, already kickboxing champion in ONE FC, so now he gets to fight Muay Thai rules where there's elbows. Say less, Superlek said. The only thing he threw was an elbow, and it ended the fight. That fight was so sick, that one moment. But yeah, the guy who got that nasty, disgusting elbow in the
Chris
UFC, Chris Padilla, he credited him for it.
Yeah, he got some inspiration watching ONE FC the night before, and he had a big, mean overhand elbow knockout of Zhu Rong, and it was a pretty competitive fight.
Yeah,
up until that moment, and then Padilla just threw it. He saw his opening. I forget. I think it was Rong was throwing a right. He saw his opening, and he just stepped in with the overhand elbow and completely blew up his eyeball. I actually would like to know the status of his eye. I hope it's okay. I wonder how long he's going to be out for, because it was huge. It was so swollen.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find him on Instagram, see if there's any updates. But the elbow was so weird. Like, it was kind of like you fall into it a bit, and you really like have to throw your head first, but then the elbow comes forward and over. The way that Superlek landed it, it was almost as if. Yeah, it wasn't like a normal kind of overhand elbow. It was kind of like almost like a tomahawk that was upside down, if that makes sense. It was really cool to see. And
I think it was with like the rotation of his body,
yeah,
and the momentum of their opponent coming in.
Yeah, it was like instead of like a slicing motion, it was more like a forward motion. And then with Padilla, the tip of his elbow hit like right on that orbital. Right, like, I'm wondering if it was just a hematoma, but everyone was saying that it looked like his eyeball got popped out.
It looked like his eyeball exploded.
It was horrible. But before that happened, it was a really competitive fight. Some people were saying that it was a little boring, but it felt a lot like a Muay Thai fight. like the pacing of it. Mm-hmm. Like I could almost hear like the band playing in the background. But yeah, it was almost like the pacing where the first round was a lot of feeling out, a lot of like kick sparring, filling out the range and all that. And then the second round, they started going after it. You know, and even when it ended up on the ground, they were back up on their feet pretty quickly. Lots of nice things thrown by both guys, and then that elbow just did it.
It was scary. It was scary. I'm still traumatized from the elbow.
One thing that I noticed about his opponent, he looks like an Asian Cub Swanson.
What?
I kept seeing that.
He does not.
He does. He said, well, I mean, he doesn't now. But before the elbow hit, that's what he looked like.
Yeah, I don't see any updates, but I feel like on Monday we'll get an update.
Yeah. Yeah, I really want to know. But that was such a nasty elbow, and way to stand out. Like this guy Padilla, he's coming off of a submission win, so to just not even come out with a game plan that involved going to the ground, I thought was really bold. He's just trying to show that he's good everywhere.
Yeah, he said that he really wanted to showcase and oh, what did I just do to my computer? He said he wanted to showcase all of his skills and how, you know, good of a mixed martial artist he is, which we've seen in his last 2 fights.
I need to do a side by side of Rong Zhu and Cub Swanson because
stop making it try and happen. It's not a thing.
It is. He looks like him.
Thing.
There, everyone's showing the eyeball picture, but before the eyeball, he definitely looked like an Asian Cub Swanson.
I didn't see it. I don't see what you see.
Well,
and he doesn't see either.
He definitely doesn't. What else is going on? Oh, did you see that crazy knockout in Dana White Contender Series?
I haven't not seen it. It's everywhere. Every single combat sport, mixed martial arts website has been showing this on replay all week.
So what do you think it is about that knockout that made it so crazy? Was it just because we've seen that?
Well, it's a one punch knockout by
a woman.
By a woman.
Yeah.
And I think that is less common than, you know, the male flyweights in the male division. We don't see. You
don't see Cub Swanson?
No. I'm telling him you said that. He's offended.
Tell him.
I just think it's less common that we see women with one punch knockout power.
Yeah.
Completely flattening somebody out. She put everything and the kitchen sink into that overhand.
Yeah. It was pretty impressive, and when I saw the knockout, I was like, all right, let me watch the fight real quick. And the fight was wild. Like they were both going at it. What was the name of the woman she was fighting? The woman she was fighting, she didn't really have that power, that pop, but she did have some nasty submission win where she got a girl in a bulldog choke, but they were both on the ground. It looked really disgusting. Like it looked like she was going to pop her head off. So I'm wondering if that was the reason why the odds were so crazy. But this girl who got the knockout, she was a plus 800 underdog. And I don't see why that would have happened because they both looked about the same when you saw their previous fights, like when it came to experience level and how green they were out there, how aggressive they were. They both looked about the same.
But they looked body type wise, they looked like they were in different weight classes. It looked like the girl that got the knockout took a short notice fight in a division that's not her own.
It did. I'm wondering if that's her division or if she's going to stay, because it was flyweight, right?
It was flyweight.
I'm wondering if she's actually a strawweight or if she's comfortable at flyweight because, I mean, she looked comfortable.
She looked plenty comfortable, and I wouldn't want to take away her power by cutting too much weight. I'm not saying that she didn't look like a flyweight. I'm just saying that there was a big difference between the physique.
Yeah. She definitely had a lot of fluff, a lot of little extra loving, extra woman to love, and she was able to throw that weight around like crazy. The woman she was fighting, she had all the muscles. A lot of people were calling her Kayla Harris, just super jacked. And I kind of felt bad for her because she was in her pre-fight thing. She was saying, oh, I want to prove to everyone that anyone can do this. Even a mom could do this. I'm a mom. I started late and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you go, girl. But, you know.
It wasn't her night.
It wasn't her night. And she's coming up against a lifetime martial artist. Like this girl has been doing taekwondo, karate all her life, and then started putting everything together with MMA. So I'm really still confused how she was a plus 800 underdog.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how they make those odds typically.
I think it's just based on how many people bet on the other person.
Maybe. And I mean, if I was just a casual, if I was, somebody who didn't follow sport, or I did follow sport, if I see those matchups, I'm probably going to favorite the more physically imposing looking person.
Instead of doing the work of trying to find some no-name person's old fights online. Yeah. Yo, we should start betting on Contender Series fights.
Are we allowed to?
Well, we can give other people great advice. We can give people who can legally bet on it great advice, and then maybe they'll subscribe to help out the channel.
I actually really enjoy that. I like watching footage. When I was doing, commentary, I loved deep diving into opponents that weren't mine and finding little like nuggets, hard to find fights, because it's really challenging. But I love doing research and having something to talk about, for those kind of fighters. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do some homework. Guys? Yeah, let's do some homework for Dana White Contender Series. Maybe you guys can get a little treat before Tuesday, and we'll tell you who our picks are for the Contender Series next week. Okay. Yeah. Can you pull that up actually right now? Like who's coming up next week on Contender Series?
I think so. Hold on.
That might actually be a pretty good idea for us to do. Because those fights are a lot easier to bet on than UFC fights. Because UFC fighters, they can have a 5-fight lose streak and just have a total career resurgence. They have the what do you call it? The capital, the money to just be like, all right, I'm going to get this fixed, that fixed. I'm going to hire all these coaches. I'm going to go train at altitude, all this other shit, and they can come back a different fighter. It's a lot harder to do that when you're not making the money of a UFC fighter.
Very fair. Okay, so what date are we? So
it's like early September for us. What are we? September. It's going to be September 10th. The next Contender Series one.
So the next one is September 10th. So season 8, week 5.
Who we got?
We have Sterling versus Latu.
Okay.
This is a 205er.
Ooh, what are the odds?
I don't have the odds, girl.
Oh, okay. Just yeah, sorry. I thought it was up there. Continue.
No. And then we have Otani versus Steele. We have Iwasaki versus Bulgari.
Ooh.
Bulgario. Please. I'm so sorry, guys. Musasa versus Tanzanlovi. And then, we have another flyweight fight. We have Laframboise, maybe, versus Cagliari.
All right. I think we should focus on the chick fight, but also pick another one and just like see if we can. But I'll try to find the odds and see which odds are kind of enticing,
Okay.
and then we'll do a couple deep dives.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only a handful of fights, so I think we could.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
And they'll probably only have like 2 fights that we can find online. So
It'll be fun.
yeah, let's do it. This is basically what we do for our friends who don't have that many fights. And usually they'll get a person with like 4 or 5 fights, or mostly amateur fights. And we can go and check them out and be like, oh, you should work on your arm bars because this girl can get arm barred. You know what I mean? It's always nice to have that little nugget of information just to sprinkle on your friends as a veteran MMA
Absolutely.
fighter.
I dig it.
But yeah, I feel like that was a misstep by the odds makers. I don't know how they allowed that girl to be a plus 800 favorite, but she showed out. So that was really cool to see on a Contender Series and see that it was getting all that attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I loved how excited Dana White was.
Yes, and Mick. Did you see Mick's face? I had to get a screen grab of it. It was so funny.
I think it was, it was screen grabbed and put all over the place. It's a meme now. It's a meme everywhere.
Yes, I got to think of a good meme to post on Monday.
When the towel drops.
Yes. When you see Massa Wong in person. I get the nickname now. Oh, man. Well, you want to talk about some bullying fights, right? Or bullying videos online.
So I don't have a TV in my room. I like it to be completely like no electronics kind of thing when I sleep.
Ooh.
You know, it's very minimal.
Okay.
But it's been so hot, and I had to get a portable AC, and I put it in my bedroom. So instead of just staring at the wall, I've been like deep diving on like Twitter.
No, that defeats the purpose.
I know. I know. But I stumbled. You know what? I was really shocked that I just found myself like going down this rabbit hole because I stay away from Twitter. Twitter is a place that I don't like going. I learned my lesson years ago.
Yeah, it's where Strickland thrives. It's where you should stay far away from.
You just stay away from it and you're fine and you can live life out peacefully and happily. So I stumbled across this video, and it is this smaller girl who is getting picked on by a much larger female. Mm-hmm. And the girl is crying. She's asking, begging, pleading, like, just stop, please leave me alone. Yeah. She's, not necessarily defending herself well, and it's giving this bully momentum to keep going, because this is what bullies, thrive on. They love that reaction. Mm-hmm. Makes them feel big and strong and tough. So somebody, a fellow classmate, a young female, saw this and decided to step up on this girl and just basically say like, hey, why don't you pick on somebody your own size, and served her and basically kicked her butt all over the sidewalk.
Hey, good job.
And I, without knowing anything else before or after this video took place, I'm okay with this happening. Mm-hmm. I like that somebody is standing up for somebody who can't defend themselves, and I don't mind that at all. That's how I was raised.
Yeah.
You don't start none, but you better finish it. Mm-hmm. If you see somebody that is not able to defend themselves, like you better help them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that too often people just watch things happen. They're ready to pull out their phone and just like see something happen rather than stepping in and helping the situation anyway. Maybe some people will say, she went too far. She didn't have to do that. But I feel like that's the only way to get through to a bully.
And it's a good lesson learned for the bully, because how many people go too long without learning those lessons before the stakes get a little higher? Like, okay, maybe you're over 18 and you're still doing this bullying shit and somebody attacks you with a weapon, or somebody like hits you with a car because they just don't like you, or you end up in jail because you're actually assaulting someone as an adult. So it's good to learn these lessons early on. It's the natural order of things, you know? Like, I feel like bullying is kind of part of learning to deal socially with other humans, but then also like the karma that comes with bullying is part of it too. So like, yeah, like getting bullied makes you tougher, but then also the bully eventually learns, and it's just a way of life, you know? One thing that sucks though is these days, this is something that we didn't have to grow up with, because I remember getting a cell phone. Like,
the Nokia brick. What did you have?
Yeah, like I don't even know if I was still in high school, but like I had the little one, I had the huge one, I had the flip one, that opens. It's as big as your hand, and then it opens, and it's like a fucking banana. But yeah, I remember all those phases of the first cell phones, and we didn't have video on it for a long time.
Goodness.
Fuck.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I don't know how kids are growing up in the world of social media, where if you get beat up at school, it's going to end up online. Yeah. Like, it's horrible. I remember having panic attacks about the first couple of embarrassing things that I did that were online that probably no one saw, but I just knew if you Googled my name, you would see that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was really stupid. It was like, I did this dating show called
Stop it.
Did I never tell you?
No. Maybe. No, remind me.
There was this dating show on BET called...
Why is it making you grab your boobs?
Oh, I was making sure. I was making sure I was in. You never know with these kind of tops. I'm like, just making sure I'm not falling out. It's like, it wouldn't be much of a show, but still got to make sure we can post this on YouTube. You'd make somebody's day. Yeah. It's like, look at that little peck. Look at that little peck hanging out. Yeah, no, I was on this dating show called Get the Hookup. And the only reason I remember the name of it is because I did a really bad rap at the end of it when I didn't get picked.
Can we see this rap?
So
somebody find this rap.
Oh my God. So it was something stupid like, so it was me and this other girl, and we both went on a date with this guy, and we had to show a talent, and my talent was like drawing caricatures. So I drew a caricature for him, and he was like, oh, that's cool. But this other girl had a huge ass. I don't remember what her talent was.
Did she shake it?
But I think that was her talent. Her talent was having a huge ass. So when he didn't...
hard to compete with.
No, he was like, bye little twiglet. Like... I had zero muscles. I was basically what you see now, only no muscles, so nothing. I was probably like 115 pounds soaking wet. And I drew a little picture of him, which I thought was good. And he was like, oh, that's cute, but she has an ass. And so at the end, when they were like, you have something to say to the guy that didn't pick you? And I said...
What did you say? Tell me right now.
This girl was kind of like a butterface too. So I said, you could have chose the cutie, but you chose the booty. So next time you're not gonna. And then I fucked up. I don't remember what I had planned to say, but I was like, so next time when you get hooked up, you're gonna not. Yeah. And I was like, wait, let me do it again. And they're like, no, that's great.
No. Fucking production.
I hate them. They love when you fuck up. Oh. Reality TV loves when you fuck up. So yeah, that was out there on the web somewhere. I don't even know where, but
God, I have to find it.
I was terrified of people seeing it. Terrified. Like I would get sweats, like cold sweats at night, thinking that's out there.
I would be more afraid if there was like a home sex video. Like, that's not that bad.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, comparing that to how I feel now, you know, because I've been to the pinnacle of being embarrassed on TV and online or whatever. Like, obviously, that doesn't mean anything to me now. But back then, it was such a huge deal.
Yeah.
And compare that to how it feels being a high school student, being already afraid of going into school because there's someone there that just doesn't like you for some reason.
And not having the emotional stability or tools to deal with that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Is just awful.
And then knowing if something does pop off and you're not winning that situation, that shit's going to end up online.
Yeah.
It sucks. So, shout out to all you kids, you know, going through it. Like, that must be crazy. Also, join the gym. That actually happened to one of Jenna's students. One of her little students, when someone attacked her, and then the video ended up online, and it was a whole thing. But then she kind of beat her up. So it's like, yeah, the friends recording it were recording it for her to get beat up, but then the girl getting attacked, Jenna's student, actually ended up beating her up and being able to walk away and be
kids,
okay.
Get in jiu-jitsu.
But then she got kicked out of her school, which is another topic, which is like, what the fuck? But at least she was safe. At least she didn't get hurt, and at least she didn't get embarrassed online, because that's a real thing. That can destroy your self-esteem. That can send you into a deep depression. You have a lot of people killing themselves.
It spreads like wildfire.
Yeah, it's really rough. So, yeah, that man, it makes me so sad. Like, it makes me not want to have kids, thinking that
it's scary.
they're going to have to deal with something like that.
Yeah. And there's really no escaping it. Like, we fortunately didn't grow up with that kind of social media, that kind of pressure, but it's just, it's so easy for something to run rampant, and people like putting their thoughts, their words on it. It just builds it, and it can go on forever.
Yeah.
It's just a snowball effect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough.
I do not envy kids these days.
No, but I'm happy that girl got beat up.
Yeah, I gotta say. Without knowing anything else.
Hopefully that is the real story, and that's what happened. But it seems like kind of hard to fake from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a couple like wild videos online that we were sharing with each other, right?
Oh, there was the one about the dad disciplining the son.
Oh, yeah.
There was that one. So that was, kind of, I don't remember if it was before or after this video, but there was another video on Twitter of a dad sitting his young son down, and this kid is under 10. He's young. And I guess he called his mother out of his name and refused to, clean up or do whatever she asked him to do. The B word.
What?
Yes. He called his mom the B word.
Do you know my head would be through a fucking wall if
There is no way
ever
that I would have lived to tell the tale if I had ever called my mom out of her name.
No.
If I even told my mom no.
Yeah.
That was not allowed.
That's
I was
rude.
A very polite child.
That's very rude.
I was raised with fear and manners.
Raised right.
I was raised right. And so this dad stepped in, and he sat his son down, and he crouched down to his level. He wasn't standing over him or intimidating him. He was speaking very sternly. He was not cussing. And he was just laying it into his son about how you treat your mother with respect.
Yeah.
You do what you're told. This, that, and the other. And it looked a lot softer than the way I was raised.
Yes.
It looked frightening if I were that child, but completely necessary. And it went viral, and it's very hot and cold. People's, opinions on it. It's either, oh, this is abusive, this is completely out of line, or that this is good parenting.
So the people who are against it, how did they want him to approach that?
Gently.
But he did.
I thought it was completely called for and well done. You know, he wasn't, you know, yelling, overbearing. He wasn't domineering. He was just very direct and very stern. And I thought that it was appropriate for the situation.
Yeah.
I don't see how it could be labeled abusive, but these days I think a lot of things are either abusive or not. And I think it's a very small parameter of what is now acceptable, and the way people are raising people, I think, breeds people that are disrespectful.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like you get these people talking about, oh, you don't want your children to be weak, or you don't want this and that to happen. But then a video like that pops up and people are mad if you talk to them sternly. And I'm like, man, I've had so many hard talking tos. But then I've had a lot of times where I could have been talked to, but instead I just ate the back of my mom's hand. And that shit taught me more than a sentence. You know, it taught me more than a paragraph. I'm like, okay, correction.
Better don't.
Yes, that is not the thing that you want to do, you know? And there's a difference. I don't know. It's just weird that, like, I don't know. Maybe it was weird to just put it online, you know, because it was the parents that uploaded this video, right?
It was probably the mother standing off to the side, guaranteed.
Yeah. So maybe it's just weird to upload something like that because it does seem like a very personal moment. It's like when you say don't air your dirty laundry. Yeah, don't like post your disciplining of your kids. Like it's for the family and that's it. So I would agree if that was like a reason that people were complaining, but the fact that it happened is fine.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it happened is totally okay. There needs to be corrections. Otherwise you have these kids growing up with no respect for elders, with no respect for women in their life. They're calling, you know, people they love the B word, thinking it's okay. Like, no, it's not okay. You know, like, especially if you're saying it in a way where you want them to feel like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, I call you a bitch, like, bitch, what are you talking about? But that's totally different from being like, Jess, you're a bitch.
Like, whoa.
Like, no.
Whoa.
Even saying that, I was like,
oh, Angela.
Why would I say that to you? But yeah, no, it's, you have to teach that. You have to teach that. It's just like the bullying thing. There are consequences to your actions. And if he doesn't have a stern talking to, if he isn't like if he doesn't feel like he did something wrong, then he's going to do it again.
Exactly.
And it can't just be the mom's fault. Like, that's the nice thing about having two parents in the household. You have someone backing you up. If you're a single mom and someone calls you and one of your kids call you the B word and you say that's not right, like, the kid's not going to believe you as much, you know? But it's great that this father was there and was able to say, hey, no, your mom's right. That's messed up. And you do it again, you're going to have to answer to me again. And you don't want that. You know, like, that's awesome. I wish that for every kid. I know it doesn't happen that way all the time, but when you do have two parents in the household, it's awesome when they can back each other up, because that just does so much. It's so formative. It's so I don't know. It's just like a really special thing to have. So for people to hate on that, it pisses me off.
It's disappointing, and I think it shows the climate of where we're at today. And I think that there needs to be a little course correction in that.
Well, I think people love the pile on, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they love to get mad at a thing, or they love to be very congratulatory of a thing. And there's never a gray area. And it's like, I can look at that situation and go, maybe it wasn't appropriate to post it online, but I agree with what's happening. But in the comment section, a lot of times you'll just see people being mad and just see people being happy about it. Mm-hmm. And I think, like, the climate of where we're at now, a lot of things are really divisive, and a lot of things are very, like, hot or cold, black or white, and people aren't using critical thinking anymore. And I don't know.
No, they're just reacting.
Yeah, they're just reacting. First thought that comes in my head, I hate this. I love this. Everything I'm saying is hypocritical to the thing I just said, but it doesn't matter. I'm just reacting. And it's just like, guys, relax. It's just the internet.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know these people. Like, why do you care? You know?
Well, it's hard because in putting it up there, it gives people permission to comment on it.
Yeah.
You know, it gives people permission to feel strongly about it. And then they get emotionally charged, invested in it. And it just becomes a thing. And it keeps building and building and building. So, yes, be mindful about what you're posting on the internet. Be mindful about how you treat people. It's just kind of where we're at in society today.
And it sucks.
There's room for improvement.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, man. Well, I think that's all I had, unless you have any other topics that you wanted to
No, I think that's good.
Looking at my little list real quick just to make sure. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got. Oh, UFC Noche. We said we were going to talk about Noche.
We've said that a couple times, and we still haven't. I was like, you know what? I thought it was a lot sooner than it was going to be. We could do a little Noche talk.
Just a quickie Noche talk to sum up the evening. We talked a lot about Merab versus O'Malley last time, but let's talk about Grasso versus Schevchenko.
The trilogy.
It's so hard to figure out what adjustments a fighter's going to make after two fights against each other, especially because the last one was so close.
Yeah, and not most, but there's a big handful of people that think Valentina Shevchenko should have won. She should have gotten that really fancy belt that they made especially for Grasso.
Do you think she would have gotten that belt if she had won?
I don't know. It was a beautiful belt.
Oh, man. They could have given her some... where's she from again? I forget. One of them Eastern European countries.
Isn't she Polish?
Oh.
Is she? No, I don't know.
I don't think so, but maybe she is. Shit, I don't know. I just know she does a weird dance. She wears weird white flowery...
Kyrgyzstani.
Kyrgyzstani.
Kyrgyzstan. Sorry.
Kyrgyzstani.
That's what it says. From Kyrgyzstan. Am I saying that? You know I am terrible at pronouncing
Kyrgyzstani. That sounds made up.
I swear that's what it says.
No, it does look like Kyrgyzstan, but I'm not sure the exact pronunciation, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Kyrgyzstan. I just never heard of that country. And I'm mad at that because Schevchenko's been champ for a long time. Like, as soon as Joanna became champ, we're like, yeah, Polish.
First Polish champ. Did not give proper props.
Did not remember them saying first Kyrgyzstani champion in the UFC.
We're probably butchering that, by the way. If we said it properly, we'd be like, oh yeah, that's where it's from.
Yeah, no, it rings no bells.
Yeah. Well, there was a little bit of criticism from Alexa Grasso on Valentina's performance and the way that she comes out. And she says if she comes out the same way that she did again, she'll win again.
Ooh, Grasso getting a little spicy.
Yeah.
Putting a little tomatillo on that,
She said Valentina starts a little bit too slow. She's a little bit too paced, which comes from, her Muay Thai background probably. They're notorious for, that kind of slow starting pace and then building as the fight goes.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what adjustments they make for sure.
Yeah.
I see a Grasso, adding to her game, but also she's had success, in her mind twice with the way that she's come out. She's put it to Valentina pretty well with her volume, with her straight punches, switching stances and grappling.
Yeah. No, it's really going to be an interesting one to see. I don't know. I'm looking at MMA decisions right now, and it's pretty much split down the middle on what people thought. Not one person got the decision that Michael Bell got of 47-47, giving Grasso a 10-8 in the last round. I think that was the reason why so many people were so heated, because that score basically dictated the entire fight.
Yeah.
Like giving Schevchenko 3 rounds, but then giving Grasso such a huge advantage in that last round, basically said, okay, she gets to keep her belt. So it's going to be interesting to see how Schevchenko comes out. Schevchenko actually responded to that. And she was like, so what do you think, that I will stay at the back of the cage and then you will stay at the back of the cage and then we never fight? Because I guess she was trying to say she is the evil female character that every James Bond movie needs. You know, like she has the accent, she has the RBF, she has the blonde hair, she has like the scary, just like demeanor
She
about
got the
her.
vibe.
The killer vibe. Yeah, she is the typical bad guy, and they matched this fight perfectly because Grasso is the hero. You know, she's the doe-eyed princess who's representing Mexico on Mexican Independence Day. So like this is the story that they're building, and it was done perfectly. But Schevchenko, when they said that, she was just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I think the reason she said that was because she felt like Grasso was also not coming forward. So I think it was a roundabout way of saying that. But I'm wondering if Schevchenko wrestles more. I'm wondering if she tries to get that control time up again, because she was having a lot of success with that. And I think the one thing that was scaring her away from just going ham with it was the fact that Grasso was able to choke her out in the first fight.
It could, but that was such like
it was a totally different situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. So she shouldn't be afraid of it.
Jumped on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was one of those really great reads that Grasso made in this like small window of opportunity, and she just snagged it and got it.
Yeah.
So I think she should, lean in to the grappling, because she has great takedowns. She has a great grappler. She's so well-rounded. She's such a dominant champ in her, prior outings, that I would love to see her be more aggressive there as well.
Yeah, same. I think maybe after going 5 rounds with her and seeing that there wasn't a threat when she was on top, when she was like, controlling the fight and controlling that part, maybe she's going to have a lot more confidence in just going back to the well with that and being more aggressive with that. But I think that's always going to be in the back of your head, right? If you're fighting someone that submitted you, even if you're on top, even if you're controlling every part of their body, you always feel like, oh, but if they get that underhook, I might be in that same situation, so you're a little more tense down there than you would be against someone who you had no experience with, who you just happen to be controlling, and then you're feeling comfortable enough to pass, to hit, to posture up, to do all these things that would be a little risky against someone who has submitted you before. So I'm thinking that she'll probably be a little more aggressive on the ground. And maybe Grasso is going to be ready for that. But she definitely showed that the takedowns were there. I think in the first fight, Schevchenko was taking it away until she hit that spinning back kick and got submitted. Hey, if she doesn't throw that friggin' kick, she might be able to take this handily. But we'll see. It also feels like Grasso's straight punches, her jabs, her 1-2s, they give Schevchenko a lot more trouble than anyone else has on the feet.
She's so fast there.
Yeah, and you can feel like when you spar a boxer who has just only boxed their entire life, when you get jabbed by them, it's a little different.
It's different. They turn their punch over.
And it feels so stiff. It's like someone taking a broomstick and just hitting you with a pool
No, it
cue
feels different.
Right in the nose.
It feels different, and the energy that you feel from it is different too. It's kind of draining. It's there's a little bit of an healthy intimidation that comes from it.
It's just like that. Get away.
Oh.
Maybe I will. Don't do that again. And then they do it again. And you're like, fuck, now what?
Yeah.
Now what? I guess I'll shoot. So yeah, if she's able to do more of that, I think she can have a really successful night. But yeah, it's gonna be a wild one. It really is a toss up because both of those fights were so close before the end happened, decision and submission. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. Who do you want to win?
I kind of want Schevchenko to win.
Wow.
I do.
Why?
I just, I love who she is as a champion.
Okay.
She has this like air of mystique about her. I think she's a really hard worker. I think she's a great representation of what a champion is. So is Grasso, honestly. But Grasso's had the belt for a while, so I just want to see a little bit. Just want to see the mix up.
You want to see it get crazy.
Shake it.
Yeah, yeah. I
Shake
just
the
want
world up.
pandemonium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then we get to see another one.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know?
I want Grasso to win. I want this to be over. I want Schevchenko to work her way back up because I feel like when you're a dominant champ, a lot of times you get an easier run than the people coming up after you've already done the hard work. So yeah, you get a hard run on the way up.
Yeah.
But once you're there, sitting on top of your throne, you get to look down on all the little peasants and watch them work really hard.
What did you think she forgot what it's like?
Well, no, I like to see a champion work their way back to the top, especially someone who is so dominant. You know, like I want to see if she's made of that, if she's able to do that. Because when you're a champion, you get like to look at what the best matchup is. You get to see the best fighters fight the best fighters. You pretty much get your game plan made for you as they're on their way to the top. But if you're Schevchenko and you lose, you might be fighting someone like Natalia Silva next. You don't really know what she looks like against like the top 5, you know, against like the cream of the crop or against multiple different matchups where you can pick, okay, she eats this. Oh, this is how you take her down. Oh, she doesn't like that jab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the champ gets to do that and they get a lot of evidence on how to beat the person. So I want to see that get mixed up. I want to see how Schevchenko deals with that and if she's able to make her way back to the top.
I got you. Yeah.
I
like that story.
And also, I like Grasso. I like that she had a rough run at Strawweight, kind of win-loss, and then she got to Flyweight and found her groove. And she's so friggin' nice, and she's so friggin' sweet. And, you know, and she has this boxing style that's really, really fun to look at. Like it looks good. It's violent. It's nasty. Like I like that. I enjoy watching people get punched in the face, and she does that a lot. You know, so I don't know. I the striker in me is more excited about Grasso, even though Schevchenko is a great striker. I just like watching people get punched in the face, and it seems like her punches have a bigger effect than a lot of the other women in Flyweight. Yeah,
I gotcha.
so we'll see who comes out on top. Any other fights you're excited about on?
Ortega and Lopes. I'm excited that this fight was remade and that this is going to happen.
Yeah, right?
And it's at featherweight.
Is it?
Yes.
So Ortega is biting the bullet.
Yes.
He's going to stay skinny.
Big boy coming back down.
Yeah. Well, he has more notice this time.
Yes, he does.
That was kind
But
of...
he had said that he wanted to go up.
Yeah, but if you want to go up and then you get a short notice fight at the weight class that you don't want to be in anymore, there's a good chance you're going to miss weight.
Yes. So I'm really excited for this. The way Brian Ortega looked previously, I feel like this is just going to be a really good fight. Diego Lopes is all go, fast finishes, and Ortega's I counted him out his last time around, and he ended up delivering in a very impressive way. So I think that I'm very excited about this fight.
Oh, yeah? You think Ortega's going to get a win?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to get a win. I think Lopes is just an absolute beast, but we haven't seen a ton of ring time with him. I mean, we saw him with Ige on very short notice.
Yeah.
And it was a great fight, but I want to see it all put together.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Oh, hey, sir.
What the hell?
He's like, you guys are done. You guys are done.
Why are you still in here?
He's like, dinner's ready.
Yeah. One thing I'll say about the Ortega Lopes fight, with Yair Rodriguez, which was Ortega's last win, that fight, he was just getting mauled for a second, and then he was able to come back, get on top. And Diego Lopes doesn't have that kind of quit in him. Mm-mm. Like, I feel like a lot of times when Yair, especially when it gets stuck in the grappling battle, he kind of gives up. He sees that the walls closing in on him, and he shuts down a bit. Not like gives up, like lays down and lets it happen to him, but like he just seems to panic a bit. And Lopes seems so comfortable in every part of the fight, even when he's not having a great time. Like, there were a lot of moments in that Ige fight where it did not look like he was having a great time, but he stayed composed, he stayed comfortable, he like found his way out of it and was able to get to a place where he could score and win the fight.
I like seeing fighters that are so dominant and they have all of these first round finishes, and you don't know exactly what they're made of going into deep water. And I think we got to see a glimpse of that with Ige.
Yeah, for sure.
So that, we got to see.
What a fucking G, being able to put him in those positions on 12 hours.
Oh my God.
Was it 12 hours?
It was something crazy like that.
6 hours, maybe?
It was crazy.
Ugh.
Dan Ige is one of my favorite fighters now.
He is.
I was already a fan.
So
now
good.
I'm like super fan. He's amazing.
And I've been saying, and you're probably going to say this isn't right, like the Cub Swanson thing, but I think he looks like a tan version of Preacher. You watch Preacher?
No. Okay. I don't. Hold on. What's Preacher?
Preacher is a TV show, and I feel like the main character looks like Dan Ige, like a white version.
Him?
Yeah, he looks like Dan Ige, right?
He does. Yeah,
okay.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. I just won't give you the other one.
Okay, no, every time it's like
hard pass.
It's like sometimes he'll just do this face, and it looks like he just ate a punch, and I'm like, Dan Ige. Dan Ige dressed like a preacher, but no, Dan Ige is a G. So much respect for him before the fight, but then after, legend status.
Yep.
But yeah, I can't wait for this fight. I want to see what Lopes is made of again, and this could put him in a really good position if he wins. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's see Noche. Hopefully all the fighters don't like convulse at the sight of all the lights and stuff flickering. Like you know, when you watch the certain cartoons or whatever, and they have like
epileptic
the seizure
warnings.
Yeah.
Yes. No, for sure.
I hope they're considering that.
I'm sure that they are. I've never been to the Sphere, but that's got to be like when you purchase tickets, that's got to be like a disclaimer on it, like a warning.
Well, yeah, a warning, like we're not responsible if you have a seizure, but when it comes to the fighters, I'm hoping that they thought about their safety before they decided to do some crazy lights performance as they're walking out or something.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I heard from RJ, one of the producers, that they're doing different worlds for every fight. So every fight in the Sphere is going to display some kind of world that has something to do with Mexican Independence Day.
Interesting.
Or Mexican independence. I don't know. And so my question was, what are they going to show in the O'Malley versus Murat fight?
Whatever they want.
They're going to get real weird with it. They're just going to think outside the box of the theme that they set forward. But I'm excited to see what the production's going to look like. It's going to be wild.
I hope they give us a good glimpse for us viewing at home.
Yeah, maybe they have that, what was that Facebook VR thing they were doing where you can act like you sit in the seat of someone who's actually there live. I've never
seen that.
Yeah, they're doing this, or at least they were doing it a few, I don't know, like last year or something, where they had like the people, there was a person there with like some contraption, and it showed every every angle of the fight, and then you can log on Facebook with your little VR headset and look around.
Wild.
Yeah, it's great.
Crazy.
Technology.
Love it.
It's better for it's good for things other than talking shit online and commenting on bad parenting.
Fair.
There's
Fair
other
point.
uses.
Yay.
Well, we will see you guys after the Sphere. We'll get you some picks for Dana White Contender Series. Maybe you can make some bets, and hopefully we won't get them wrong because there's not too much to get wrong. Usually it's pretty easy to bet on.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So we'll see you then.
Bye.